What's up, and welcome back to another video. Today I am actually working at my house again. Once in a while I'll have a client request that I take the vehicle to my house and work on it instead of going to them mobily, and I'm totally fine with that. So what are we doing today? We are working on a 2015 Jeep Patriot, and we're going after the DTC code P2004 for the intake manifold valves, control valve stuck in the open position. So if you're having this issue, I'm going to show you the steps you need to take to diagnose to figure out whether you need the control valve or the intake manifold, or maybe even both. So stick around for that, and apologize in advance for the fan noise in the background. It's hot today, so that's going to be a thing. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and let's get into it. Alright, so we got the 2.4 liter engine, and we get a flashlight. I believe, well, I know that's going to be the actuator right there. That's held in by maybe 3 10mm bolts, it looks like. So we're gonna have to move all this out the way, so we'll start by removing this cover. Get that out of the way. This is going to be an 8mm or a flat head, whatever one you prefer to use. That's faster. And then you're just going to untwist these little clips here. Pull this out of the way. And you got this red, I don't know, child-proof clip or whatever, locking tab. Just gonna squeeze that, pull this out, squeeze the tab, and move him out your way. Disconnect that. Now we're gonna have some 10mm here we're gonna take off. And you can probably just take that one off and you're good there. See, this should just pull up, I believe. And we can disconnect this hose from here that goes to the air box. It's probably the easiest to get to. If it gives you a hard time, you can use a speed clip removal tool, and that'll help you out with, or assist you with removing it. So let's see if she'll come off now. Yep. So we can probably just swing this out of our way. That way we ain't got to unplug the computer and all that stuff. Just move that clip there, and we'll let him sit right there out of the way. And as you can see, now we have access to our actuator motor. Which I believe is, this is a 10 and I believe this is an 8mm. That's what it looks like. So let's see. There we go, that's better. And again, you have the connector to the actuator motor, which is right here. See if you can see that. So this is going to be the connector for the actuator motor. And again, you got a red locking tab. Mine was already released, but you just push it out to release it and push tab in. Same scenario as here. And now we can access our actuator motor. So looks like we got two 10s and an 8mm. So let me get that set up. So I have a 10 on a swivel. That's going to work perfect for this. Let me take that out. You're going to have one under here, which you can't see on camera, but you'll notice it when you look underneath that coolant hose there. Just don't drop your bolt like I did. Go fishing. It's right there, it's not too bad. Alright, so you notice the one on the bottom is bigger. The one I took out top's only like this big, so just don't lose the orientation of where these bolts go. And the other one's an 8mm, so that should be easy to put back in its place. The other thing I don't know is if this 8mm is there because someone's been in here and they put it there because they lost the other bolt, or if this actually belongs in the car. So you may or may not have that 8mm, I don't know. Alright, so now we're going to pull out this actuator motor. Which does appear to be a little stuck. Let's see if we can pry it out a little. Oh, so there's another screw. So I'm sorry, this may not go to that. I'm gonna leave it out just in case, but there is another 10mm under there. So there's either 3 or 4 screws. We're about to find out. So he's off, he flew down there somewhere. Let's go find him. Alright, I'll have to go fishing for that other screw later. So for now, let's pull this out. And okay, so there is just 3 screws. So that other screw I removed actually goes to the thermostat. I believe that's the thermostat housing. So I think this vehicle has 2 thermostat housings, if I'm not mistaken. So we're just gonna zip that back in place and pretend that never happened. There we go. Alright, so this is the guy where we want to check here as well as this. So let's start with checking the intake flap first. Alright, so basically what you want to do is first notice the orientation of where this screw is, because that's going to matter when you reinstall the shaft. You're going to want this to line up with this groove right here when you reinstall this. So basically you want to be able to turn this, and mine's stuck pretty good, so you should be able to turn this a little bit. Okay, there it is. Now it's loosening up. So it was stuck when I first started fooling with it, but now I can actually move this back and forth Now it moves really well, and it doesn't move much, but you should be able to move it about that far, about as far as you see mine moving. And that's, I believe this is open and this is closed if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong, but I believe so, because mine was stuck open and it was like that. So basically what I'm probably going to recommend on this vehicle is taking the intake manifold off the vehicle and taking the flap out and cleaning it, because I do believe we can clean that. I don't think that it'll be too big of an issue. So that is moving now. The other thing is whether or not this is functioning. So, alright, so you're gonna need to grab you like a needle nose pliers, and basically you should be able to take and turn this, and it should be spring loaded, and it is. So there's a good chance that this part is still good. If I couldn't move this, or I turned it and it wouldn't spring back into position, then I would know this was stuck and this was the problem, but mine isn't. So I'm wondering if this is still good. So we'll hold off on replacing that for now, but we still have to take this intake manifold off and clean that. So what I'm gonna do in this situation, in this scenario, what I'm gonna recommend is that we remove this intake manifold and clean it, the actuator flap and all, and then put it back together, clear the faults, and then we'll see if this motor's still good or not. So that's what I'm gonna call and recommend to the client. So I guess let's find out if they want to proceed with that now or come back another time and do it. Alright, so I'm back in the office right now, and what I'm doing is looking up the labor for the intake removal, so that can figure out a fair price for the client where they're not being overcharged. So they have a 2015, it's going to be a Jeep Patriot. It's the 2.4 liter. And we're going to type in intake manifold. Okay, labor. Intake manifold, remove and replace. So it looks like it pays about 2 hours. So I'm going to charge 2 hours labor and see if we can sell the job and go from there. So I just spoke with the client, and they are going to reschedule that repair, which is totally fine. So for now we're just going to put the car back together, and when we do the repair, I'll make another video on showing you how to take the intake manifold apart and clean that. And so yeah, just make sure you subscribe and follow along and look out for that. Alright, let's put stuff back together. So we have our actuator motor, which has got to sit this way. Let's see if we can get this in there. And basically we'll believe we're gonna have to line this up and then turn it. So let's see if we can do that like that. So I don't know if you saw what I did there, but basically you take this shaft and line it up in this groove here with the runner flap, and then once you have that lined in, you press in, and then you can rotate with the flap until it locks in place like that. Now you can go ahead and reinstall your 10mm screws and your 8mm if yours has one. Just be careful not to cross thread this plastic. Start them by hand first. And then we got our 10mm at the bottom here. Actually, we dropped that one earlier, now that I remember. I forgot. So we have to go fishing for that one. See where he went. Just gotta find my fishing pole. There it is. Where did you go?
2,000 years later.
Tell you what, wherever it went, it's in a good spot. I don't see it at all. Maybe we got lucky and he went under the car. Nope, he didn't get lucky. I'll find you. Ah, there he is. Got him. See, I remembered because you notice the thread pattern is different. This is for the plastic and this is for metal. Okay, so now we're going to install that bottom bolt. And now zip him down. He stays on. Alright, so that's reinstalled. Go ahead and get your connector here, plug him back in. Should hear it click. Not sure if you heard that, but I did. Put our locking tab back. And then we're going to reinstall the rest of this junk. So, here we go. Reinstall air tube here. Everything's lined up. Nothing's tucked or folded on you. So good there. Here's your 8mm flathead. Tighten that back up. Get your connector for your little air sensor here. Hit a click. Push down the locking tab. Lock that in place, and just double check your hoses, make sure everything's where it needs to be, wire harness is where it needs to be, nothing's pinched or caught. Double check this right here. Okay, see, so we have a pinch in our little tube here, so see, that's why it's important to double check your work. So we're going to take this back off. See how it pinched right here. Very important to double check your work. So make sure that goes under there. There. So see how that slid on nice and easy, didn't fight me? Now we know that's properly installed, and it is. So now you're gonna reinstall this little plastic cover, lock your tabs in place, put our little engine cover back on. Alright, so now we're gonna start the vehicle, make sure it runs okay. And we're still gonna have a check engine light because we didn't do any repairs. We just diagnosed it right now, so next time we do the repair, then we'll clear the fault and try to verify the repair. But for now, we're just making sure it's running good and everything's put back together the way it needs to be for the client. Kind of double check, make sure everything, don't have any air leaks from the intake tube. Alright, so that's gonna wrap this one up, guys. We pretty much did all we can do for now, so at this point we're just gonna be waiting on the client to approve the repair. But until then, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. So I actually decided, what if by some chance, when I moved the runner flap with the screwdriver and got it unstuck, what if by some chance it never sticks again? Then technically it would save my client on coming back to pay me to take this intake manifold off and clean it if it's working right, because if it's not broken, we don't need to fix things. So I've decided I'm going to go ahead and clear the DTC, and what I'm going to tell the client is, if the check engine light comes back on, then we'll deal with this. But what if by some chance it doesn't come back on and it works, right? So I'm going to do that for my client and let them know, because of that small possibility that it may not get stuck again. It could save her a few $100s. So that's what I decided to do. So thanks again for watching this video. I appreciate it, every bit of it. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content, and I will see you next time. And you can see that DTC is now stored, so there is a good possibility this comes.